Okay, we're skipping section 3.7. We're not doing word problems with 3 variables, just do word problems with 2 variables. Going to section 4, we're going to talk about linear inequalities. Just real quick, you guys probably know all these symbols. What does that mean? Not equal. What is this one? Less than. Greater than. Less than or equal to. Okay? Quite a bit different than this one. This one means it's strictly less than. Okay? This one means it could be less than, or it might be the same number, or it could be equal to. Or equal to. And this one's greater than or equal to. Greater than or equal to. Okay? Just some symbols to know. The next thing we want to talk about is we want to talk about intervals, graphs, interval notation, and then also set builder notation. Now, I've talked a little bit about set builder notation already, like on the first day. But you guys were actually asking about intervals and interval notation a while back. It's not too bad. Not too bad. But first we'll just talk about a definition. An interval is a graph of a set of real numbers. Okay, we're talking about real numbers now, not points. Okay? So if we're just talking about numbers, we're going to be talking about on the number line. Okay? And I'll just give you a quick example. So there's a number line. And we might have some interval, something like this. Okay, so there's an interval there in the green. Don't worry so much about the numbers yet and these symbols. I'm going to talk about those right now. The endpoints of an interval. You guys have probably seen all this before, but if not, the endpoints of an interval can be open, which means the number is not included. Okay? So, for instance, we denote this open interval with either the notation is either the open parentheses or that one, if we're talking about the right endpoint, or sometimes we can use a circle, an open circle. And I'll show you an example in just a minute. A closed endpoint, what do you think that means? If an open means it is not included, what do you think a closed means? Will include the number. Will include the number. Okay? The notation for the closed is the brackets. Okay? Or for the, another way is a colored in circle, colored in dot. Okay? So let's look at some examples. -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. So let's say I give you this interval. Yeah. fat Sharpie would be good for these things. Okay, so now this is an interval graphed on a number line. Now what we want to learn is this interval notation. I want to be able to write this concisely so that I don't have to graph it all the time. Okay, so we say that the left endpoint here is what? So -3. So, and it's going to be closed because it's noted that it's closed on the graph. So we use the closed notation, means the bracket, -3, comma. Now, notice that it goes this arrow here. What does that mean? It goes on forever. So the right endpoint doesn't really have an endpoint, but we call it infinity. Okay, so this comes from there, and then from over here we get the infinity. Now we always put infinity or negative infinity to be open. Okay? What about this example? 0, 1, 2, 3, -1, -2, and something like this. So we'll do an open, go that way. Okay, so what's the left endpoint in this case? Negative infinity. So now this is going to be a negative infinity from the left endpoint, comma. When we go to the right endpoint, what is the right endpoint? 1. I sort of wrote over it, but it's a 1. And is this one open or closed? Open. Okay. So we can go from a graph to interval notation. And let's do one more example. Let's say -2, -1, 0, 1. Let's do something like -1 to 0. And that's supposed to be a parentheses, and this is a bracket. So what's my left endpoint? Open, -1. That's exactly how you'd want to say it. You say that whether it's open or closed, and then the point or the number. Open, -1, comma, 0, closed. Any questions?